Hello, future stage designer. This is a quick video that I'm going to make to show you how easy it is to build a USPSA stage using SketchUp. You don't have to know all about SketchUp, you only need to know a couple things, okay? So first of all, download and install SketchUp. There's plenty of videos out there that can show you how to do that. The next thing you're going to want to do is go to the SketchUp 3D warehouse, just Google it, it'll pop up, click on it, and then go into this search box and type in USPSA. When you do, this is what you're going to see is it's a bunch of bays with props. Okay, so find one that you like, find one that has lots of props, or you can use some props from one and some from another, but you're going to want a bay and you're going to want a bunch of props, okay? So then you click on the little download, you can download them for free, and then you're going to want to open SketchUp, and then you're going to want to go to File, and File, Open, and then open the file that you just downloaded. Okay, this is mine right here. This is the one I'm using. It's got a bunch of props everywhere, and there's a bay right here. So then after that, basically what you're going to need to know how to do is basically four things. You're going to need to, number one, be able to move around this space and navigate and look at different angles within SketchUp. You're going to need to know how to move these props around. You're going to need to know how to duplicate them, and you're also going to need to know how to set the props at different angles, like turning the target, facing a certain way. All right, so first thing is how to move around this space. All right, this one, I really recommend that once you just open SketchUp, just really practice doing this. It's going to take some time to get used to, and so you're just going to really want to practice doing it. So to move around this space, you're going to want to use the scroll wheel. Scrolling up zooms in, scrolling out zooms out. Clicking the scroll wheel gives me this little symbol, and then if I move the mouse around, this is how it moves things, okay? Now, if I continue to hold down the scroll wheel, like clicking it like a button, and I hit shift, this little hand comes up and I can move things around this way. So without shift is like this, with shift is like this, okay? And then of course we have zooming in and zooming out with the scroll wheel, okay? Just practice that. That's the hardest thing to get used to in SketchUp. Practice it a bunch, and you'll get used to it. So that's viewing the angles. The next thing you're going to want to learn how to do is move around props, okay? So let's take this guy, for example. I'm up in the toolbar. You don't need to learn all these tools. You just need this arrow, this little thing, and this little thing, okay? So here's the arrow. He selects the target or whatever I want to move. So I'm going to click on it. It's going to be selected, okay? Now I'm going to go to this little four-way arrow. That's the move tool. And I can click anywhere and just drag it, and it will move, okay? You're going to want to stay on either the red axis. That's what I want, okay? Now I can move this arrow around here, and it starts turning dark, and it's not a color. Don't do that, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up with targets floating in the air or underneath the ground, okay? So if I want to move something diagonal from the position it's in, I'll move it across the red axis first, and then I'll let go of my clicking, and then I'll click again, and I'll drag it across the green axis to get in that diagonal position from where I was before. So you can also, if you're already moving on the red or green axis, you can hold shift, and it will force you to stay on the red axis. So that's going to make your life a whole lot easier. Just move things on the red and green axis. Don't move them any other way, okay? So that's how you move things around. All right, so now I can click this thing again and click in the middle of nowhere to deselect that thing. So that's moving things around. Duplicating things is another thing you're going to want to know how to do, okay? So you've copy and pasted before, so it's the same thing. Just select, copy, Command C on a Mac, Control C on a Windows computer, and then I'm going to deselect it because I've got my selection tool. I'm going to click over here, and I'm going to hit Command V. And we're going to wait just a second because it's thinking. and there's another target, okay? Now, if still got the little four-way arrow thing, usually the first thing I do once I paste something is just click the mouse once, and it just plants it there. Because if I otherwise, what'll happen is I'll move that arrow around, and I won't move on the right axis, and it'll be floating in the air again, okay? Now I can go back to my selection tool, click wherever, and deselect that. Or I can select it, or, you know, whatever. So that's how you duplicate things, all right? The last thing you're going to want to know how to do is angle things, okay? Once again, you're going to have to select the thing you want to angle. You come to this little tool here, click that, and look, you want this to be blue. See? See how it's black here? Because it's picking different angles that we're going to rotate it on. We only want to rotate it on the floor, okay? So blue. Click it here. That's the pivot point. And click it somewhere else like here. And then you can move the mouse. And when you have it at the angle that you like, you just click again, all right? And then you can go back up here and click the little arrow, click into nowhere to set it there, okay? That's all you need to know how to do in SketchUp to build stages, all right? Here's your bay. Move your targets in there, duplicate them, bring walls and fault lines, angle them, set them. That's all you need to know how to do is what I just showed you right there. Okay, now I'm going to take, I wanted to make this video as quick and simple as possible, but I'm going to do another video where I show you how I would design a stage using SketchUp and just using those 4 things that I taught you. Viewing angles, moving things around, duplicating them, and then angling those things that we're moving around. Okay, so yeah, if you want to see that, check into my next video. If not, just get into SketchUp and start playing around.